Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good morning to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Welcome to another edition of Front and Center where we put very significant issues affecting our country, the Philippines, as our program title says, Front and Center. On behalf of our colleague Jerome Toledo, I'm your host for today, Steph Vicente, joining you all for a 30-minute worth of talk discussing important matters with our government officials, people from the private sector, or even members of the academe. As seen through our video live streaming, you may watch and listen to Front and Center through our Facebook page. Just search Radyo Pilipinas World Service. The same goes for our official YouTube channel. Meanwhile, we also have an audio live streaming thanks to the Evox PBS receiver app. You may download the said mobile application via Google Play Store if you are using an Android phone or via App Store if you are using an iPhone. Once you have entered the Evox PBS receiver app, just find the logo of Radyo Pilipinas World Service in order for you to be able to listen live to our programs such as Front and Center. We are also back on shortwave radio starting this December, as Front and Center is part of our English service, which airs from 10 o'clock to 11:30 in the morning Philippine Standard Time. You may listen to us via the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. For today's edition of Front and Center, we are going to talk about the Yaman ng Kalusugan Program or YAKAP program of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth. It is noted that PhilHealth reminds all members who wish to transfer their PhilHealth YAKAP clinic that they may visit any PhilHealth local health insurance office or LHIO until this Friday, December 26, 2025 to ensure uninterrupted access to benefits under the YAKA program. To know more about this reminder and the YAKA program in general, we are going to be joined by Dr. Israel Francis Pargas, who is the Senior Vice President for Health Finance Policy Sector and also spokesperson of PhilHealth, when we come back after a few reminders from our station.
This is Ambassador Edgar Thomas Auxilian of the Philippine Embassy in Port Moresby. On behalf of my staff, I would like to convey our warmest Christmas wishes to all our kababayans abroad, most especially to those who are in Papua New Guinea, Kiribati, and Solomon Islands. May this season bring you and your families abundant joy, peace, and good health. As we celebrate the birth of Christ, may the spirit of generosity, faith, love, and hope continue to inspire us wherever we may be. We are proud of the strong, vibrant Filipino community in PNG, Kiribati, and Solomon Islands, and we look forward to continuing to serve you in the coming year 2026. Isang mapayapa at maligayang Pasko po sa ating lahat. Merry Christmas! May God bless us all. Mabuhay!
We're back here in the program Front and Center. And with us right now is Dr. Israel Francis Pargas, who is the Senior Vice President for Health Finance Policy Sector and spokesperson as well of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth. Dr. Pargas, welcome to the program Front and Center. This is Steph Vicente again of Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Hello, good morning, and good morning to everyone.
Good morning as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Pargas, to for accommodating our request. Even it's a holiday today, and it's also Christmas Eve as well. Dr. Pargas, just for context, PhilHealth has issued a reminder about transferring Yakap clinics. For our listeners who might not know about this, can you briefly explain what the PhilHealth Yaka program is and who can benefit from it?
Well, the PhilHealth Yaka program is our primary care benefit package, and the objective of this is really to make sure that our members are healthy enough and well to be away from illnesses. This is actually a rebranding of our previous program, which is Consulta. However, the Yakap now also includes our free consultation, 21 drugs and medicines, and with the expansion of the Yakap, we already have included another 54 medicines which are free, and of course we have free diagnostic and laboratory exams, and soon we will also expand the yaka program to include free screening tests for the top four cancers in the Philippines, like breast, lung, CA, liver CA, and colorectal cancers. So this is our primary care benefit program, which hopefully we can expand to a comprehensive one later.
Mm-mm. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Pargas. Just as I was mentioning earlier in the program, PhilHealth is reminding all members who wish to transfer their PhilHealth
Yeah.
Yakap clinic that they may visit their local health insurance office just until this Friday, December 26. Who are allowed to transfer their PhilHealth Yakap clinic, and why is it important to do this before this Friday?
Yeah. The mechanism of getting the services of a YAKA program is that you should be registered into a primary care clinic of your choice. That is written, of course, in the UHC law or RA 11223, that every Filipino should be registered into a primary clinic of choice, such that we have around 4,002 accredited YAKA clinics right now nationwide, from which our registered members under the YAKA program can choose from. Um, you are registered for a year, and
Mm.
then since this is a uh, primary care clinic of choice, if you are not happy, for example, with the services of the clinic that you have initially chosen, you can actually, and it is allowed that you can actually transfer to a more convenient Yakap clinic for you. And the deadline for the transfer is actually during the fourth quarter of the year. And so, since there are holidays because of the Christmas season and the New Year season, the deadline for um, transferring clinics through our offices is on December 26. However, um, if you are going to transfer through our corporate action center, or our corporate action center, they can do so until December 31.
Mm.
um Anyone who opts to transfer may be allowed to transfer during this time, during the fourth quarter of the year. So even those who have already consulted during the initial year, or have not consulted yet with their previous clinic, may transfer during this time, during the fourth quarter.
Mm. And what actually happens if a member misses the deadline? Will their benefits be affected?
No, but the service, they will get the services from the clinic where they are still registered. If they are not able to apply for a transfer within the specified time, then the 26 or the 2026 services may be availed still at their initially chosen Yakap clinic. So there is no stoppage on the benefits. However, they won't be able to get it on their next chosen clinic because they were not able to transfer. But they will still be getting the same benefits in their previously registered clinic.
Okay. Now, what are the step-by-step requirements for members who want to transfer to a new Yakap clinic?
Well, for one, again, the deadline is on December 26th. For transferring through our offices, they will have to bring in their fully filled up primary care uh, selection form to be submitted to our clinic, to our offices. And once this form is submitted, then our offices will evaluate it and uh, they will be notified through email um, for the approval of their chosen clinic. And then starting January 1, they can already get the services uh, on their new chosen clinic. However, for the if it's going to be through our corporate action center, they may call our action center at 028-662-2588. It's a 24 by 7 hotline, or at 028-662-2588. So they can do that. And however, also as a reminder, if the principal member or if the member won't be able to do the transfer, they can send an authorized representative, of course, with a government valid ID or with a membership form or with a claim form whenever it is available, and a representative can actually do the request for transfer.
Hmm. And can members request a transfer even if they have already had their first patient encounter or FPE? And what is the difference in transfer rules for members who have already completed their FPE and those who have not?
For 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 everyone, they can actually apply transfer during the fourth quarter. But the difference for those who have their first patient encounter, for those who had their first patient encounter during the year, they are only limited to request transfer during the fourth quarter. And for those members who have not yet gone through their first patient encounter in their current clinic, they may do so transfer any time of the year. So that's actually the difference. If you were able to get the services already in your previously chosen clinic, then your time or of transfer would be during the fourth quarter. But if you have not received any service, like for first patient counter in your chosen clinic during the year, you may do so transfer any time of the year.
Okay. And then for members who cannot personally visit a PhilHealth office, um, or if they do not have access to the Action Center hotline, can a representative process the transfer on their behalf, and what documents are required?
Yes, as I said earlier, a representative can do so if the member won't be able to do that. Only they have to bring in valid ID, government valid ID, or any other documents to prove, and then membership fully filled up membership form and patient's claims forms if needed. Those are the documents that they need to bring to the office for any request for transfer, especially if this will be done by a representative.
Mm-mm. And once the transfer has been approved, how will members be informed of their new Yakap clinic?
Well, an email address is required because the form once evaluated and processed by PhilHealth, they will be informed through email of the approval and, of course, the instruction that their services would start January 1, 2026 in their newly chosen Ayakap clinic.
Okay. And if the transfer is approved after verification, will there be any waiting period before benefits can be used? Although I think you have mentioned that the effectivity would start January, right?
Yes. Up to December 31, the member can still get the services from their current clinics. However, if they request for transfer and once approved, they will already get and start getting the benefit in their newly.
Our communication has been temporarily interrupted. We'll just call again Dr. Pargas because this is some important information. Okay. Dr. Pargas, go
Yes.
ahead.
Again, the member can still get the benefits until December 31 from their current clinic. However, if they requested for a transfer and it's approved and evaluated and approved, then starting January 1, they would be able to get the benefits from their newly chosen clinic from which they transferred to. So there is no gap actually in the provision of services.
That's good to know for especially to all the members of PhilHealth who might be listening to us right now. Now we're going to talk about choosing the right Yakap clinic for PhilHealth members. PhilHealth has an online directory of Yakap clinics. How can members use this tool effectively to choose the clinic most convenient for them?
Well, in our website, www.philhealth.gov.ph, there is a listing of our accredited clinics. They are around 4,002 accredited Yaka clinics nationwide. And of course, it is their choice um, to select from the list the clinic that is most convenient to a person or to the member. For example, if you are working in Manila, but you live, for example, in Cavite, which one is more convenient for you um, to have your consultations? Is it in your place of residence in Cavite or a clinic which is near your work, wherein you can go to any time if you will have to consult for such an illness um, or anything that you need to get from the clinic, like medicines and laboratories. So it will actually really depend on the convenience of the member uh, to choose from the list which they prefer, which clinic they prefer.
Mm. And of course, I think my the answer to my next question should be really emphasized just for the information of our listeners, because what I am going to ask you, Dr. Pargas, is what free health services can members expect under the PhilHealth Yaka program?
Well, under the Yaka program right now, we still have our free consultation or free checkups. We cover 21 drugs as part of the Yaka program, but we already have expanded it to another 54 free drugs, wherein there is a limitation of around 20,000 peso per year per member for the 54 drugs. And then, of course, there are 13 laboratories and diagnostics which are free. Um, Blood exams, X-ray, ECG, CBC, renal profile, all those are included in the diagnostics and laboratories. And soon also, we will start again, as I've said, free screening tests for
Mm.
the four cancers. Like for breast cancer, it will be a free mammography and ultrasound. For liver cancer, it will be a blood alpha fetoprotein determination. For lung cancer, it's a free low-dose chest CT scan. And for colorectal cancer, it's a free colonoscopy. That would all be provided by our YAKA program also later on as we expand. And still on the pipeline are all other packages that we will include to make it a more comprehensive outpatient benefit package.
Okay. And now, how does the YAKA program help bring primary health care closer to Filipino families as directed, of course, by our President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.?
Well, for one is this is mandated for every Filipino. This is for everyone. You know for a fact that every Filipino is already a member of PhilHealth by virtue of the Universal Healthcare Act 11223. So all they need to do is to actually register again to their Yakap clinic of choice, and they will be able to get the primary care services. Second is, of course, um, expanding and making sure that we have access to all these services, and that is so far again provided by our more than 4,000 accredited yakap clinics with more than 6,000 accredited yakap doctors who are providing the services. And of course, thank you to like Radio Pilipinas International for helping us spread the information and for the information dissemination campaign, because it is very hard to inform all the 116 million Filipinos. So in order to make sure that every Filipino would be able to get the primary care services, it is very important that they actually know the benefits of PhilHealth.
And finally, what is PhilHealth's key reminder to members to ensure uninterrupted access to their primary care benefits in
Well,
the year
again, yes.
2026?
Well, again, in alignment with our topic for today, the transfer of clinics, we are reminding every member that the transfer is only up to December 26. If you will do it through our PhilHealth offices. However, it would be until December 31 if you would do it through our Corporate Action Center, which you may access through our 028-662-2588 24/7 hotline. So just make sure that you are able to apply if you need to transfer. However, if there's no need to transfer, then all the services would continue for 2026. It is also very important that you actually visit our website at www.philhealth.gov.ph or through our eGov app, because we are actually linked to that government app for more information.
Okay, and with that, thank you so much, Dr. Pargas, for joining us here in the program Front and Center. Again, thank you very much, and a happy holidays to the whole PhilHealth family.
Thank you very much and Happy Christmas.
And we were just joined by Dr. Israel Francis Pargas, who is the Senior Vice President for Health Finance Policy Sector and also the spokesperson of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth. At this point, we'll be ending today's edition of Front and Center. We would like to thank first our technical team who are with us right now, of course, Sir Milo Jonella, who is in charge of our master control. And we also have here Miss Justine Osias, who is in charge of our Warcast live streaming on our Facebook. And we also have here my co-producer, who is now in charge of the audio live streaming, Mr. Erwin Peñano. And we will also like to thank our station manager, Mr. Ray Sampang. And of course, all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World service. Stay tuned for more updates. And as I mentioned earlier, we're now back on shortwave radio. Front and Center is part of our English service, which airs from 10 o'clock to 11:30 in the morning Philippine Standard Time. You may listen to us via the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 megahertz, 15.640 megahertz, and 17.665 megahertz. Until the next episode of our program, on behalf of our colleague Jerome Toledo, this has been your host for today, Steph Vicente. Good day and happy holidays.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.